Three. Into the next life
Right.
with you and me, Steve Kane. Okay, welcome to the Drew and Me podcast where we talk about music, we talk about movies, and then we talk about whatever else we want to talk about. And today we are joined by Philadelphia comedian Steve Kane.
Hello, hello, hello. How's it going?
Going great, Steve. Welcome to the show. Um, um, so kind of a thing I've been doing recently is I ask for three favorite plays and then five favorite songs. If you were to choose your favorite play of all time, what would that be?
I don't have a lot of choices to go with because I haven't seen a lot of plays. But I mean, number one is definitely like far and away the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I have a long relationship with like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I do
Um,
too. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah, and I mean like not just the film and not just seeing it like in theaters, but like seeing it like done on small stages. And I saw it on Broadway once. And I was like 12 or 13 when it was still playing in New York City. And I think I got my first copy of that maybe when I was 8 years old. I think that's probably a little too young to be a fan, right?
You don't
Uh,
get everything. A lot of it's double entendre anyway. So like a lot of it's like stuff could go right over kids' heads.
yeah, I was really like attracted to the film at a young age, and it wasn't necessarily like any of the sexuality in the film. I wasn't really like interested in that. It was just like I'm a big fan of film. I'm a big fan of like weird avant-garde experimental films, and that was like the first film I ever saw that was in any way just weird, I can think of. It was my introduction.
Yeah, like honestly, like the music is probably my favorite part. The songs are excellent.
They really are. I mean, like, and when I think of like plays that I like, and I'm not a big play guy, it is like those plays from that era that like have like the rock and roll music in it.
Mm.
Like I know that like the golden age of musicals is like the 1930s and like Showtime music and stuff like that. But like I definitely like those rock and roll based musicals for sure.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I feel like Rocky Horror is a really good one. Um, have you have you ever seen Bye Bye Birdie? Because I feel like there's some rock and roll in that too.
No, I mean I've definitely heard the title, and I'm guessing it's what like a rockabilly type of musical.
It's political.
Okay.
um, yeah, it's about like a musician that's like Elvis, and then there's like a politician like story and things like that.
Does it take place like in like the 1950s though?
I think so. Yeah, it's like 40s or 50s. I think you're right about the rockabilly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I just know like when's the first time you saw Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I was in college. They did it as a production, a student production, and the music was so good and had a really good cast. Like yeah, yeah, I really like kind of the Rocky Horror theme, and then like there's a lighted to Frankenstein Place. Like those are some great songs. And then I actually got to be in the play last year.
Like a shadow
Uh
cast, like the to go along with like the movie or like a play.
yeah, I was part of a shadow cast at the Hedgerow Theater in Media. I got to play the criminologist, so that was fun.
You've been to Bar 13, right?
Hmm?
And have you been to Bar 13 in Wilmington, Delaware?
No, I haven't been there.
Like a year ago, they had a shadow cast for Rocky Horror there, and they do an open mic comedy thing at Bar 13. And me and like the comedy host got booked to do the intermission for this Rocky Horror shadow cast. So like they had like the movie on the big screen, they had the whole shadow cast and like it did an intermission and we came out with like a ukulele and a kazoo. It just started playing random like poopy pee pee dick joke songs and like the whole audience was just like not into us at all. They were like, get the fuck off the stage and put the movie back on. That was my only experience performing during a Rocky event. Yeah, it was weird. But I mean, I think I got the VHS when I was 8. I probably watched it like probably 50 or 60 times on video cassette back when the
Wow.
90s when you owned like 5 VHS tapes or something like that. So you'd rewatch what you had, then like like finally in high school, I was able to go see some of the places that I know it's been playing in Philly forever. It used to play in Vineland, New Jersey. It plays in Delaware at some place. So I've gone to every I try to go like at least one every year still. Go see it at least one time.
Yeah, I've seen it probably 8 or 9 times. Like I've seen the Philadelphia Shadowcast, which is very good. I'm not sure if you
Yeah.
know Hannah Harkness. She moved to New York, but she used to play Columbia in the Shadowcast in Philadelphia.
Was she a comedian?
Yeah, she used to go by the name Short Stack, and then she changed it to Hannah Harkness because her name's Hannah.
Yeah, I think she might have been before my time of doing comedy. Um, but yeah, I mean, their shadow cast is really, really good, and I think I'm due to go see him sometime soon. And it's just always sorry I kind of got distracted because my wife just walked in and walked back
Um,
out.
yeah, it's okay.
Um,
Um,
but
yeah,
what really gets me though is that I've seen it so many times for like 20 years now, and now when they show it, they show the Blu-ray or they show the 4K, whatever, and it's almost like watching a completely new movie. Is all kinds of things like in the background stuff that pops out where I feel like I'm not even watching the same movie anymore. It kind of messes with my head. Uh,
oh
Give me
man.
standard definition or give me death. Um,
Um, like I'm not sure if the college did it when they did the production. Like I know they didn't do every song and they didn't do the dinner scene. Um, but like probably my favorite song from Rocky Horror is the "Don't Dream It, Just Do
yeah,
It."
yeah.
Like there's
Don't
something
dream it,
very
just be
like
it.
melodic about it, and I kind of feel like it's a good message.
It is a good message. And I like that it's tied up in just all the craziness of them being totally insane at that exact moment. And I remember being in high school and really trying to push for them to do like a Rocky Horror play in high school. And looking back now, it's just like you can't do that. You can't just have high school kids just running around being sexual like that. But you didn't think about that when you were a little kid, when you were in high school yourself. But I guess Glee, I think, did it or something like that, actually. The
Really?
TV show. They had like an
Oh
episode or
wow.
something like that where they did it, which is very fictional too. You really shouldn't do any kind of Rocky Horror play in high school. College maybe, sure. Uh, but what college did you go to that did it?
I went to a small liberal arts college in Central Maryland. It was called McDaniel College. So it used
Yeah.
to be called Western Maryland, and then they changed the name to McDaniel.
Okay.
And it had a good liberal arts program. It had a good theater program, and yeah, they did a few plays. Like I think Rocky Horror is the only one that I remember. So, um, but yeah, they did that. Then they did some really weird like horror comedies and things so like that.
Were you like in plays and stuff like that? Are you like did you do like stage stuff?
Yeah, yeah, I did theater later. Like 2 years ago, I was in Twelfth Night, which is the Shakespeare play. So they did that at the Hedgerow Theater, and I got to play the priest in that. So that was fun. And I took some theater courses in college. I was almost a drama minor, but there were some classes that were required that I didn't want to take. But yeah, I feel like theater is another great kind of creative outlet, and it kind of lends itself to comedy. So yeah,
I did one play in the eighth grade. It was Fiddler on the Roof,
that's
and
great.
I played a rabbi, and I had one line the entire play. And even as an eighth grader, I was a little smart ass. So when it was time to say my line, I would always like purposefully like overact it because it was one line. I'd like have like like a minute long pause in between my words and like really like oversell it just to be a fucker because I was mad that I had this minor role basically. Um, and I hate that play. I'll never listen to that play again. I was having to rehearse it. So I mean, these people who do plays have to like so much rehearsal, and then like they do them 1,000 fucking times. Like I would never want to hear those songs ever again. Oh, Fiddler on the Roof. So that's my least favorite play, if you have to. But
Okay.
I mean, my second favorite play would be
Yeah.
The Book of Mormon, if you've got the chance to see that yet.
No, I haven't seen that.
You know what it is?
It sounds religious to me.
It's the South Park guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the two South Park guys made a play called The Book of Mormon, and it's the South Park guys being the South Park guys. They're making fun of Mormonism the entire time. And it's about like a Mormon that like gets sent to like the shittiest country in Africa, and just really politically incorrect, really bad taste, really really funny, and I don't think there's not a movie yet or anything like that. So you either see it live or you haven't seen it. And I saw it once like 6 or 7 years ago, so I don't even remember like the songs or anything like that. I was just like really impressed by it, and it's probably the funniest musical of all time. I mean, those guys are geniuses, and I would if I had to like name who I think the greatest like comedian of all time is, it wouldn't even be like a stand-up comedian. It would just be like Trey Parker. I think he's fucking brilliant. So I would say if you ever get a chance to see that musical, definitely go and see that. You would love that. It's really top
Okay.
notch. You know. Um, but yeah, to my third, and this is probably another one you haven't seen, but you probably at least heard of this. But I saw Evil Dead the musical. I don't know if you ever.
No, I haven't seen that. I haven't even seen the Evil Dead movies, like because like
Uh,
they weren't on TV. So
mm,
and like apparently, even though it's Sam Raimi, it's apparently like hardcore horror. Like it's like really intense.
yeah, it was made in the early '80s on a shoestring budget when they were just little kids making the movie in the woods, and it's exactly what you would expect. It's zombies and chainsaws and blood splatter, and it's crazy. So when they did a musical of it, which I saw twice, second time I saw it, I went. It was like a first date with a chick actually, and it was the coolest first date ever. We sat like in the front row, and you dress in all white, and then they just have fake blood just flying everywhere. Like just
Wow.
like they're just they're singing dumb songs. Like the songs are forgettable. They're dumb. It's just the whole concept of making this ridiculous thing a musical. And we were covered in fake blood, and this was in Philly. We had to park like in the garage like 4 or 5 streets away, and so it's like a Saturday at like 12 o'clock at night, and we're walking Philadelphia covered in blood, and everyone is just like staring at us or like stopping us and being like, "What happened?" It was like a really interesting thing, but like, yeah, that's another thing where like my examples of musicals are kind of like outside of like the traditional musical. They're just like things with like cool gimmicks to go along with the musical thing.
Yeah. But I feel like if a play can be funny, that's a big deal. Like if you can make a play that you can really laugh at, it's something special. Um, um, did you ever do you know the play Dog Sees God? Don't dream.